I have a written thing from the Dalai Lama there who says, never give up, give up, don't matter what is going on. Well, he means it to cultivate the heart instead of the mind. And of course, in that sense, I keep on not giving up. I really know this is the only thing to fight for in life. But on the other side, I feel I have to give up, no? I have to give up, because otherwise I'm always...
It depends what you mean,
no?
giving up what, you see? What you mean, giving up, what is it? You must not give up, and you must give up. What are we talking about?
I think that what I never should give up is my, well, if you call it my search for the real truth, no?
Even after you find it? Will you be able to recognize if you have such strong, sometimes we are more attached to the journey than the discovery even sometimes. Because the journey happens in the mind, but the discovery happens in the heart. And sometimes, strangely enough, it can appear that somehow the journey brings all the passion, brings the friction, brings the anticipation, brings the struggle, brings the urge, brings the longing, brings the fight. And what happened when you are home? You see?
Yes,
first you are home, and then somehow the momentum of that urge is still somehow the energy. Just like if you're dreaming you're being chased by an elephant. Why did I say that? You dream you're being chased by an elephant or tiger, and then you wake up. But still you continue, the heart still beating, sweat still coming. But now you know it's not true. But still, after a while, it quietens, it comes back down again. Sometimes when you come to a place of recognition, sometimes the remnants of that, or the sort of the echo of that urge is still in the vein, still in the body. You have to be okay with this also. But for some people, then it's the proving point, it's the defining moment, whether you're more attached to the idea of being a seeker, of getting somewhere and having something to report and having a sense of measurement, and to tell your friends, oh, this week I really succeeded, I meditated for half an hour, whatever it is. Because some people, trivial as it might sound, that's at the heart of their their intention even, but it's dressed in this thing like, I'm just want to find the truth. So, okay, that aside, let's started this question from what is to give up, why to not give up, and why to give up. So why to not give up, meaning what? To not give up your search for the truth. Don't give up. But at some point you have to be somehow open enough, relaxed enough to recognize that something is coming from the mind now. Now something is coming from the mind. And one part of what I would call the joy and the expression of freedom is to know when to give up something. let go of it also. And the freedom that you don't have to finish what you've started at the finishing point. You can finish early. If you see something is not going, you can chop it. But if the voice is too strong in the mind, you should never give up. And some people are living at life, even relationships, I will never give up. What a torture for someone who wants to give up, feels the need to give up, and the other one can't give up. They're cutting off your leg, but I can't give up, I can't give up on you. And I've seen it with my own eyes, like this. And I thought, why? What a crazy thing. Sometimes you have to come to your senses and say, but enough. So, you are right. The great purpose of your life, the highest purpose, is not to be a mother, not to be a wife, not to be a doctor, not to save the world, but to find out who you are. Because some power is mothering through you, isn't it? If you don't know that, Because I see many people who their child is the most important thing in the world. And I see that their mothering is not such a great deal. Maybe in their own mind they think. But they think they're mothering, but they're smothering their infants. Don't give them no space to breathe. Everything is, it's like I've seen all type of things like this right here in Brixton, and I have to leave town for that. You see? So if I would be one person who say, if you feel this urge, go for it. I don't think you are abandoning your child. I think you are full of love. Mm-hmm. In fact, it may be a gift. Why should she not have 6 months with her father also? Yeah. Why is he not capable? It's almost like a mistrust. Mm-hmm. Like the mother is always just the best. The father is only kind of like an appendage. But he can maybe take care of his child. Many fathers are better mothers than mothers. I'm just saying that there are some people quite capable of doing quite well, and life will give you this opportunity. Mm. It is consciousness. It gives this opportunity for you to fully, immerse yourself in the truth that you're discovering also. So sometimes I don't advise you listen to too many people. Mm. Sometimes you're even listening to dead people, even dead living ones. They are speaking things because it's easy to give an opinion to you, which they themselves can't take. So, I feel in the end it's a good thing, because sometimes you'll find that, like I was saying in Satsang, maybe all the people in the world, with all the people that are closest to you, at the forefront of this huge world queue, saying, you are very bad, you are, but inside you feel, that's okay. I cannot be anywhere better and truer than I am right now. So your pointing finger does not frighten me. It doesn't matter. A part of our mind is so afraid of being judged. You're not a good mother. It is part of your sadhana to face this type of thing, because it's a fear. And you try to be so good, then you are going to have this type of thing. You're not good enough. And I say, don't try to be so good. Yeah? Don't try to be so good. Just do what is right from your heart. Don't, because if you're trying to be so good, it's usually for other people to kind of acknowledge that, look, you're so good. And you think, oh, you feel good. Somebody sees. It's such a pressure to have to be good. And Sri Ramana said something beautiful, because he says all good qualities manifest spontaneously in the awakened state, meaning that it's not a cultivated good. It's the ego that's trying to cultivate to be good, but your natural being is naturally good. You see, more than good, more is divine. Because good still has certain kind of conditioning around it. More than that is that you are such an intuitive, you're an intuitive being, so that you don't have a planned set a standard about good and bad. Your responses are completely spontaneous and appropriate. You see? So in a given situation, you might say yes, no, yes, maybe, perhaps, and in every moment, every answer is appropriate. You don't have a standard answer for a standard question, because it's really not true. There are no standard question, standard answer. That you're not just answering a question, you're answering a questioner, because your consciousness is much more refined than what is cultivated through society and like that. So this is why I encourage everyone to completely immerse yourself in this, without any kind of expectation, just because your art compels you somehow, invites you into this, and some part of yourself is so something authentic, an authentic presence, impulse is recognized and gone with, and everything is okay. Don't worry. Occasionally, someone falls through a hole in the universe, and you you find yourself in another space and nobody can imagine where you are. You're walking on the planet, but somehow you're in another space that only the Buddhas walk. And that falling through the hole happens inside yourself. You fall out of the hole through the hole of conditioning, and so you fall out of this. You don't belong to anybody. Not even to you. Then you won't have to take advice how I should be like this and how you should be. Something is very, very different. I am really really encouraging the people to come inside this. Come inside yourself. Come. I don't tell them go. Go is out. Come is here. Come inside. Stay here. Stay here. And stop trying to work things out. Just come into your own silence. No? Sometimes I try to convey a little bit with words, and not just only with words, but with words a bit directly from the state, what you may call that's here, that it's not doing anything at all. There's perceiving, and there is very, very subtle pulse of intuition or something. And it's like something has cut the umbilical cord to the conditioned mind. And you have no concern at all. It's not that you are a dropout, you have completely, you don't know, I don't know what it is like this, but you're completely at peace in your being. There's not even that you are doing anything at all. You're not maintaining, sustaining, retaining, nothing. Just there's this subtle presence, this intuitive presence. And it's not concerned about tomorrow and how we should work this thing out. And of course, it can use the mind in practical functions. Then when it's finished, the mind folds up and go back into silence again. No wasted energy. It is like that.
So it's at the end, it's just to recognize what is there that stops you from let happen, no?
You can look at that. That's part of your very virile inquiry. If you have a very pronounced feeling that something is stopping you, something blocked, then you can bring that into the light of the inquiry. What is it that blocks, and blocks who? And really look and see if you can really recognize those components. Sense of a block and the feeling that I feel blocked, and see if you can find this blocked me. And be steady and persistent about it. Don't swap your question for another question because the block is stronger. No, what sees the block even? You see? Because the sense of a block is there, and then the concept that you must break through that block also comes. And there's another voice, another reminding that just tell you, but you are the witness of this. If you drop intention, just get to know that you are here. You are the one who is here. That's all. Hold on to your being.
And before, I think it was this feeling I have to keep this bliss. No?
You see, but I'm asking everybody for so long to find out who is saying these things, because this voice is a very, very persistent voice. I must keep. I must hold to my sadhana. I must be true. So okay, very good. But who is it? Who speaks those words? Out of what mouth are these words emanating? Look and see.
Out of what mind?
stick with mouth. See if you can find, because that has a sense of an entity attached to the rest of the mouth. When you say, okay, what mind, and it becomes a bit abstract. But who's speaking it? Who is saying this thing? That I must never give up. And that thought is purchased somehow in your being, and then so you unite yourself with that intention. I must not give up. So you've just taken up an eternal employment. Must never give up, never give up. Is there anybody who can be like this and don't know mostly failure? How much more easier to realize that which cannot be picked up or lost, in whose presence this I must never give up is recognized as merely just a thought and discarded. And thereafter you are the effortless seeing, in which no doubt can come, no doubt can distract. So you're not the one who have to look after you. There's no you in this sense. Everything is washed completely into silence. Either you are a doer, and this is what I'm saying, sometimes there may be in us still this sort of feeling that, oh, I must never give up. It sounds noble. Yeah, never give up the search. But who is speaking? Does it say never give up until, okay, until the search is over? How will I know? It just finds new questions to keep asking. And is this really it? How can I be 100% sure? That voice travels all the way. It goes all the way with you. If you don't cut it by finding out who is speaking it. Who is speaking it? Here is the clue. There is awareness of this question arising. And in the awareness in which this question arises, is there any attachment for this question from the position of awareness? Whose question is it? The day the potency of this question reveals itself, you are going to strike your head. Oh my God. This question washes everything away. Not just a question, but the seeing through of it. Because there's this lingering loyalty to this identity that still, after speaking face to face with God itself, still comes back and so, oh, that was a really nice conversation. I'd like to have another one. The Lord himself comes and say, look, together you look, you don't exist. Wow. Thank you. That's, you wait until I tell my friends. That's what it will say. It will still not get it. You'll get it as a sort of knowledge. Oh yes, I had the most wicked conversation we got today. And still you missed the point. You missed it. You see, the ego survives another day, another encounter. And only you will see it, will break it. So at a certain point, if what I call being awake is to be untrickable by these voices, because everybody's tricked. All the beings are tricked. Yes, but what do I do now? I said, but who speaks? Who's speaking it? You give no opportunity to really investigate where this thought comes from. Somebody comes to your door, okay, and he's got a big bag in his hand and stuff, and says, I've come to read your meter. Most people say, can I see some ID or something? You say, come on in. Yeah, yes, in the bedroom, just pass, but not just near to my wallet, you will see the meter. I'll go make you a cup of tea. Don't you check out something? Something that seems to be holding your life hostage. Wouldn't you want to check it out? So like this, but we feel such a trust, a natural trust, or maybe just through habit you just don't question this thing. And so the questions persist. They continue. People still asking 2-3 years after the introduction of self-inquiry, 4 or 5 years. So yes, but what I think now is that I said, who? 3 years I'm asking you, who? You who? Yeah. Ah, yeah, Mooji, I get it. Yeah, you who? Thank you, Mooji. Don't get it. It's maybe like there's a part of the skull that just becomes super thick, so it doesn't actually go in. Everything else go in,
Yeah.
Pizza, the next retreat, the next book, everything. Wonderful.
No, I also realized sometimes in the satsangs, I get so tired, and my eyes seems to fall down, and I'm like, come on, listen, understand.
Sometimes it can be that some tiredness happen because there is actually sometimes it can be.
But I feel it's more my.
Sometimes then you might be right. Sometimes it's just a beautiful excuse of the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, when something inside that part, which is retaining an identity, that appears to be so established that is now functioning almost as a separate entity, like a spirit. Its base is thought, believed in, and gradually it's almost separated and become its own entity. Now it's speaking to you, and something is avoiding detection or something. One day I don't know, some of you might have heard, one man was coming here. He was a priest actually, and we were talking, and and he had a very powerful voice. And we were talking, and he was asking, so what is this inquiry? We're going into it. And I said, now, this point now, who is watching this? Anyway. And I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. Anyway, I don't get this point that you are talking about. What really? I mean, what are you saying here? Yes, but but who exactly is not getting it when you say that? Oh, it was such. I wish I had some camera to tape these things, that I show you how these type of phenomenon can be. It's like complete shutdown. Like, don't listen to that. Okay. Now, it is like a comedy. And people, there's something just goes off, and then it's like, sometimes it pretends like it's meditating. It's fast asleep. And this is why sometimes the masters used to shake people that don't meditate. But that's kind of like blasphemy. The whole point is to meditate. The whole point is to meditate, to go into samadhi while I'm speaking. So no, don't do this. Be alert. Be alert. And understand. Don't go off into meditation. Be alert. So sometimes it's like this happens with something goes off. I don't worry. But sometimes if I am feeling like this, I say, you come and sit here or something. You come and sit here. Because if you come and sit here, you will not go to sleep. It's a wonderful technique. You come up on stage and sit here. You're dropping off down there. Come and do it. Come sit here. And let me sit where. I don't know if they're sleeping with their eyes open or what.
Yeah.
They are very different. But these things, they're nothing. Still, some power within yourself is cooperating a little bit. Otherwise, this is soon over. It can be a lifelong struggle, or it can be soon over. Don't get too mental about it. So you get into self-doubt and maybe it's my mind, maybe get into too much of this, because somehow the mind is involved in that so much, that aspect of mind. You spend some time alone? You have some time when you're really just alone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You mean when I'm at home and
Yes,
in
yes,
my
yes.
normal life? Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot of time. Now that I'm separated from the father of my child,
Yeah.
it's much better, because before we were all stuck together, I never had time for myself. Now he is with her a few times, so I have quite lots of time.
And when you're alone, you're alone in emptiness, or you're thinking a lot.
I have this tendency, I think, to get a lot in my mind, and the machine is going on. But my experience was when after I came the last time, even my mind was so noisy. Or what you call this fire was burning there, no? I was there watching it, no?
Yeah, so this is an important point, because mind can be noisy,
Yeah.
and then, but it doesn't matter. Mind can be noisy, it doesn't matter, because the power is not in the noisy mind. It's not the mind saying I am noisy. It's something saying mind is noisy. You see, the interest, the attention, looking at mind, said mind is noisy, because you have a relationship with it. The mind is noisy. But if mind is simply just a movement, a wave, and there's awareness of this noisiness, but something can just withdraw the attention from that, it won't be noisy for very long, because it does need the endorsement of your attention to stay as noise. So if you are kind enough with yourself, even at a certain point, you don't even say mind is noisy. It's just like any other thing. It's just like the tree trembling outside. It's you who will determine whether this is distracting or not. A thought doesn't know it is distracting. You see, it's something says, this is distracting me, which itself is another thought. You see, if it's there and you're aware, like, you don't say, it shouldn't be there, or my mind should be blank, or I should have no thoughts, which are all kind of like thoughts. And then something is trying to measure up to that standard which you create, which then creates a pressure in you. And we are doing this all the time. So let everything just be there. Let everything be, come and go. You stay as the beingness. And the more you acknowledge this, recognize this, the greater the space is inside. At a certain point, you will stop reporting about the behavior of the mind and emotions, which everybody's doing. Everybody's telling the story of their fleeting emotions, and it comes across like it is a kind of like it's enduring, like it's something that is, but it's just momentary. But we give attention to it. It seems like this is the state of what's going on. Nothing is going on. Even sometimes the very thing you say is going on is actually not going on right now. We had an example of that in Satsang. I'm talking to somebody who was talking. I said, when was this? 6 years ago. 6 bloody years ago. You're talking, you're bringing now in Satsang, like it's just happened this morning or something. 6 years ago. One time I met a woman in the market. I was coming home. She said to me, so how are you now? I said, I'm fine. Said, oh, because the last time I saw you had this really bad headache. I said, really? When was that? Oh, 6 months ago. You think I had a headache for 6 months? Holding it just to tell you that it's gone now? So sometimes some very silly things come into our thoughts. We're stuck, and much of what we're talking about doesn't exist anymore, except some seed of memory, and we are retaining a sense of importance about these things, and they have no life, they're finished. So this is why when I say look only to now, in the now, actually nothing. Because there can never be a history of now. It's now. There's no history of now. You have to go to memory, then history. So now, no history. In the now, you can say, but nothing is happening. What is happening? If your mind doesn't pick up and start to add cement to your perception, then everything is just liquid. It's just passing. You say, oh yeah, this thing happened. Then somehow you create a kind of psychic photograph of that, and then you save it. You say, oh yes, this happened. But you speak to everybody in the room, they don't have the same memory of you about it. So it's only something very personal. I don't know if it matters, all these things I'm talking about now. The point is that in our rightful mind, in the natural mind, nothing is going on. There's only the space for presence. There's only the space of presence. There's only the vibration, the current of being vibrating, and it's very joyful. Maybe sometimes people find the word joyful misleading. I call it joyful. Maybe you can use the word content. Maybe you can use another peaceful, I don't know, or no word at all about it. But it's certainly not busy trying to figure out anything. And this is why you can see so clearly then, because you're not your vision is not invested with some other projection. You're just like emptiness, and in the emptiness everything is seen very cleanly. And it's not leaving any footprints. You see, because you're not trading, you're only perceiving, just like you can look at this hand very acutely in complete detail, and yet it doesn't leave any impression inside. No footprints.